My older sister went to the lady at the desk and was like, is this a hotel or is this a shelter? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Miss Geminii Talks. Listen, today I was like, I ain't getting all made up, alright? I'm just gonna come to y'all regular as can be. Got my little lip gloss on and my little eyebrows done, but other than that, I was like, I don't feel like doing all the extra. But today, I'm gonna have a little story time with you guys. Just so you guys know, it's been a hard little week and some change, and I was just reminiscing about my childhood and just reminiscing about when I was younger. And I wanted to tell you guys my experience of living in a shelter as a kid, okay? And it's something that a lot of people are ashamed to talk about or ashamed to say they have done, or, if it's a part of your story, it's nothing to be ashamed about, especially when you're working hard towards bettering yourself and moving up in life, or if it's for a reason that you have to go into a shelter so that you can save money while you're working, or whatever you're trying to do. If you're young and you don't have a place to stay but you need somewhere to go, don't ever be ashamed to go and move into a shelter to better yourself. That's all I'm saying. Don't let it be something you just do to do and don't try and just not care. That's totally different. But if you know that it was something you had to do because it was hard times, and never be ashamed of that. It's a part of your story, and it honestly make you a better person. That's how I look at it. But I never forget. Now, my mother, she's a strong woman. I will say that to the fullest. She had 4 kids, me, my 2 older sisters, and my younger brother. And at the time, she's married to my father. It was just a little hard because, he was doing entertainment, doing music at the time. And we was just young. I was at the time 11. I was 11. My brother was 10. My sister was 12. And then my other sister was 14. And my sister that was 14, she's old enough to understand what's going on. We young, so my mother said we're moving. We was like excited. We was like, okay, we got to move, whatever. My father took us to this place called the YMCA. And we went in there. We thought it was a hotel. So we was excited to go to a hotel for the night. Me and my brothers and sisters. And we like, yay, And my older sister went to the lady at the desk and was like, is this a hotel or is this a shelter? Because I guess she heard about it before. And, we young. So we didn't know what was going on. We were just excited to be somewhere different than home. And the lady told my sister, yeah, it's a shelter. And I'll never forget my sister breaking down crying in the bed. She was breaking down. And I was just confused, like, why are you crying? And she told me what it was. And I'm young at that time, so I didn't really understand what a shelter was. But she said it's for homeless people. And I'm like, we're homeless? And it just set in that we really didn't have our own place to stay. Because in the Y, when you live there, it's just mainly rooms. And everybody has their own room. You have to share the kitchen, the area where you put all your food in the same area as someone else. You share the bathroom. So it was just so different for us. And I never forget that moment. My mother was so hurt because she had to do it. It was hard for her. I love my father. Me and him is working on our relationship. It's a beautiful thing. So it's not to bash anybody. I would never do that. That's my father. That's my blood. We all went through these moments for reasons. But at that time, that's when the marriage was over, because my mother had to do it on her own after that. So we went to that YMCA. I'm just going to tell you, it was downtown Newark, and it's crazy. It was crazy. And we stayed in there for like a month or 2. So then they transferred us to this place called the Harmony House. Now the Harmony House is in Newark as well. It's like an upgrade from the Y. So it's like they have a playground area, and then you have different apartments there. It's like a 1-bedroom apartment, but it just like it make you feel like you have your own apartment. I mean, it was run down, but we were just so excited to be out of that situation because we had to share a bed. It was just crazy. So when I think about it, it was a sad time. But now as I got older, like, we made the best of those moments, you know. And when we moved there, as we made a lot of friends, and you know, it was different. I know we got into fights. My sister was fighting. You know, it was a lot of drugs around, a lot of fiends around the area. It was something so different, you know. I mean, I never grew up with a lot of money, but where we did stay in Irvington, it was nicer and it was private, and you know, it was in a building, but it was nicer. It wasn't ratchet or too crazy. So there, you had people just on drugs. You had people that, you know, it was crazy. I never forget. I had a crazy experience. That's the first time I experienced someone passing away that we knew that was close to us, and it was this boy named Mike. He was a friend. He was a friend of the family, and we met him in there. He's so funny, 13-year-old kid, and at the time he had a crush on me and my sisters at the time, but we didn't give him no play. But he was so funny. Like, you know how you meet that person that just make you laugh, and you know, he just made a whole bunch of jokes. So our house was like the fun house in there. Everybody, I'm not gonna lie, we was very popular in there. And all the kids used to come to my mother's house. My mother made sure she bought groceries and all that because she had food stamps. And she made sure she had groceries. My mother made sure she took care of her business. So she wasn't the type of person that lived in the shelter and was on drugs and all. No, she made sure she still bought us food. She made sure she still worked. She went to do different programs. Like, that's the reason why we was in there. So that's the first time we not witnessed because we wasn't there, but we felt that experience when someone passing away. I never forget, he went to the Spires. 13-year-old kid, you know, we were young at that time. All the kids was going everywhere they want. Parents wasn't paying attention to the kids at that time, and he went there playing with a gun with one of his friends, ended up getting shot in the elevator. That was my worst experience in the shelter, just knowing how young he was. And I'm only 11 at this time, so when I think back as a grown woman and how young he was, and he got shot by accident, it was a crazy experience. And I never forget going into the funeral and seeing him there, and my sister trying to pull his body out the casket. It was just crazy. Ever since then, I told myself I don't like to go to funerals. I don't like to go to wakes. Like, that's something that is just so scary to me. The feeling of just seeing someone that you love in that state, even though it's peaceful, is just so depressing because he didn't look like himself, and it just traumatized me as a kid. It really did. And I just, yeah. But for the most part, it was a crazy experience. You know, we got into a lot of fights. It was a lot of drama there. It's not the environment you want to be in, but it also showed me where I don't want to be. So when we finally got out of there, listen, you couldn't tell us nothing. We were so excited. I mean, you don't want to have to live there, but if you do, make the best of it. Like, my mother went there, went to training, she went to get help, and we was able to move out of that place into our own apartment again, guys. So, and we end up making a lot of friendships. A lot of friendships there. My mother's ex-boyfriend, he just passed away recently. She ended up meeting him there, and he was actually like a father figure to me who I would never forget. We'll always love you. And that's why I love that experience, because we met him there. And you would never think, well, why would she talk to somebody in a homeless shelter? Listen, everybody's struggling. You meet people there, and it's good people that's, you know, struggling. It's just because you're in a homeless shelter doesn't mean that you're a bad person or you're not good enough to talk to. They was together there, and then they came out together. So it was a crazy experience, but it's something I'm blessed to say that I went through, because it made me a stronger person, made me a giving person, made me appreciate everything that I have, and made me want to work harder. So I wanted to share that experience with you guys, because I hear a lot of people that seem ashamed. Your story is never to be nothing to be ashamed of, whether it's you made mistakes in the past, whether you're selling drugs or got arrested but you learned your lesson. As long as you're not molesting kids or killing people for no reason and stuff like that, to me that's something I'm like, But if it's you know, if you're living in a homeless shelter, or you know, you fell off and you're ashamed to just tell your story, a lot of people, you know, will want to hear that, because you know, a lot of people have been through that before. So I just wanted to share my story with you guys with that, because I'm not ashamed. It definitely helped me become a better person. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I wanted to, you know, open up and be a little bit more transparent to you guys. I'm an open book. All right. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you want another story or if you have any ideas of the things that you want me to do again. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video.